We're good. Great. Good evening. Welcome everyone to our September ACES committee meeting. ACES is Arts, Culture, Education, and Schools Committee. Manhattan Community Board 4, we have a hybrid policy, so members are expected to be here in person. Members of the public are encouraged to participate remotely. And board members are also encouraged to keep their cameras on. And this meeting is also being streamed live on our YouTube channel to live forever, and the transcript is being recorded. So again, welcome to our members. Hope you had a very nice summer. See you all. So we do have copies of the agenda tonight. As we normally begin our committee meetings, we begin with a sort of a public open session for anyone from the public that would like to share anything that the community should be made aware of. And so if there's anyone from the public that would like to bring up a topic, now is the opportunity to do so. Do we have anyone online or here? Let's see, anyone? Okay, so we don't see Ingrid on, so we will jump to our third agenda item, which is the Westside Community Fund. A community update on, I think, an application that's upcoming. So I will turn that over to Jalen. Thank you for being here.
Hello, all. Thanks for having us. I'm Jalen Lisbon. I'm representing the Westside Community Fund. The Westside Community Fund organizes a biannual grant program specifically for initiatives serving Community Board 4. And we are currently, our fall grant cycle is currently underway. I will share my screen just to share some more details very quickly. This can be found on our website in addition to our social media channels. Our grant application is open through September 19th. Our funding focus areas include food security, education, economic empowerment, community improvement, arts, and health and wellness. We are looking for a variety of programming, initiatives, projects that are ongoing or new initiatives as well. Any applicant can receive up to $10,000 per grant. And to give an example of some of the programs we have funded in the past, it has been community health centers, block and tenants associations, nonprofits, NYCHA developments, youth leadership programs, so on and so forth, but including schools, which might be especially relevant to this meeting. We have had the chance to fund programming at PS 33, Chelsea Prep, in addition to PS 111, actually the Parent Teacher Association of PS 111, a great literacy program that involved revitalizing a decommissioned school library, instituting a school newspaper on real newsprint. Yes, so yeah, also individuals can apply, a group of teachers. You do not need to have 501c3 status if you do have a fiscal sponsor. This is again, as I mentioned, it's a biannual grant program, so this is our fall cycle. Recipients will be announced in October, but we also have a spring cycle each year as well.
That's great. Is that the end of the presentation? Because if so, we're happy to turn to the committee for questions. And again,
Sure. I'll just also note that we can be found westsidecommunityfund.org. That is our website, but WSCF Grants is our handle on Instagram, Twitter. We're on LinkedIn, and we have a newsletter, we have a mailing list, but all this can be found on our website.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Questions from the committee?
I do have a few questions. Hi, Jalen. Thank you so much for attending. It's so good to meet you and see you and hear about this great grant. How large is the grant? And if you could talk a little bit about what programming PS 33 received, or what they were using the funds for.
Sure. The grant can be as large as 10,000. Technically, the Westside Community Fund provides micro grants. So depending on the application, we have been able to meet the need of an organization at 1,000, 5,000, 7,000. But 10,000 is as high as we go, but we grant 100,000 each cycle. This past spring cycle, we had 18 grantees. So the 100,000 was divvied up between them. So that's 200,000 per year. To speak to PS33 in particular, we provided kind of general support for a program that involved filling the gap for many students in terms of essential needs. Essential needs, acute needs was also a focus this past spring in response to rising living costs. You know, we have also funded programs that deal with eviction prevention or people who are at the threat of being unhoused. But for PS33, yeah, supporting with maybe food, clothing, essential materials that the school was able to provide for the kids, so to promote their learning.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you do outreach to schools? Is that how they found out about you? Okay, so you've been to PS51 as well?
We do kind of a broad outreach. Chelsea Community News is one of our partners, in addition to just kind of the Avenue School is another partners of ours. Our outreach is more so through emails, we have flyers, social media, and PS33 has a longstanding relationship with Hudson Guild, and Hudson Guild is, the fund is administered through Hudson Guild. So that was that connection.
Okay, because I certainly would like to put you in touch with PS51.
Please do. I think P51 may have received a grant in this past cycle actually, but
Okay.
we are always seeking to increase our outreach. So please spread the word, and if not spread the word, just feel free to let me know directly. My colleague Jackie and I, who is also on Zoom here, are more than happy to, you know, speak to everybody about the grant opportunity.
Hi, Jackie, how are you?
Hi, thanks so much for having us. This is great.
Did you want to add anything else or?
I think I was going to say what Jalen just said, which is that this is administered through Hudson Guild. So we don't receive any funds as part of the Westside Community Fund, but Jalen is a full-time staff member of Hudson Guild, as am I. And we just help to sort of collect the applications, do site visits, and present the opportunities to the board of Westside Community Fund.
Wonderful.
I do have one question, just in terms of the timeline, the dispersion of funds, once you sort of award your organizations, how soon after do checks get cut and organizations can anticipate receiving the funds?
We work on dispersing those funds as soon as we can, following the grant announcement of the award in October. By November, for sure, is our goal to get those checks out. Yeah, but with plenty of communication, as Jackie said, we are quite literally here for, there are people who come pick up the checks directly at Hudson Guild, or we mail them out.
Great. Any other questions from the committee?
No, I'm very familiar with the fund and I think it's an amazing thing that's still happening, so.
Yeah, that's great.
Fantastic.
Max?
Sorry, Biston, how is the fund funded?
Yeah, good question. Yeah.
That is a great question. The Westside Community Fund is a consortium of businesses on the West Side. Some of the companies on the board include Amazon, Google. These companies are also part of Community Board 4, just as the intention is for the grantees to be part of Community Board 4. The goal is to continue to invest in the West Side from these organizations that are occupying real estate here.
That's awesome, thank you.
No
Good
problem.
question. Thank you. That definitely sounds amazing. It's the first time me hearing this. What type of organizations are regularly coming to you? And what is the, I guess, after grant process of support if you provide any?
Definitely. That's a great question. So the heart of the Westside Community Fund's mission is to support hyper-local organizations. The goal is to kind of reach out to the organizations that might be at risk at falling through the cracks. Otherwise, as mentioned earlier, 501c3 status is not required. Although we do get many organizations with that status, but we do, a lot of our work is with smaller, hyper-local organizations. And following the grant award, it's very important to us to maintain a relationship with the grantees by doing all that we can to bolster capacity in ways beyond the financial award. For instance, this fall, we are working on a roundtable event to kind of bring together our food security grantees so they can convene, network, share information. And we also are always collaborating with our funders to provide any in-kind donations. If there's discarded or recycled technology, if they have space that they can offer, we have been successful in connecting our grantees with those opportunities as well.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions? Jesse?
My only question, Dylan, is, it's Jesse Bodine, the district manager. Do you guys have access to Link NYC kiosk advertising?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
great,
yes.
great.
Thank you.
So just so you guys know, we'll be blasting out stuff on you guys for tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah, sorry about
Thank
the
you.
delay this time.
Thank you, Jesse. Well, thank you so much for being here. Good luck on this next round of applicants, and we look forward to seeing, how the money is used in the community, and you're welcome back anytime to our committee to give us updates on how it's going.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, feel free to check out our website, or my email is jlisbon@hudsonguild.org. You can contact me directly for anything as well.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
So we are going to move to our second agenda item. Hi, Ingrid, nice to see you. We're here joined by Chelsea Film Festival. Thank you for being here in person.
Actually, I was gonna say, both of you want to come on. Would you guys give your journalism students, right? Would you mind switching places to the?
Should I go over there? Yeah.
Thank you.
For the camera?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So welcome
Right, good to
again, the
see
busy
you.
season for you. Got your
Yes.
festival coming up. So welcome to our committee. We look forward to hearing how things are going. We can partner and help and, yeah.
Thank you. Well, you caught me right in the midst of the pre-production of the Chelsea Film Festival, and what should I look at here? Like, where's the? Here.
Yeah. The robot in the middle. Yeah, the robot's for the camera.
Amazing. Great. Yeah, my name is Ingrid Jean-Baptiste. Nice to meet you all. I'm very happy to be here and see you, Matt. It's been a while. I'm the co-founder and artistic director of the Chelsea Film Festival, which is celebrating its 13th anniversary in about 6 weeks. A little bit less than 6 weeks, from October 15th through the 19th of October. And this is a 5-day event. It's an international competition. We're going to showcase about 150 films this year, from short films to feature films, documentaries, TV series, and also a 2-day conference, which we love to highlight because it's going to bring in top leaders from the media and also film industries. It is going to take place all around Union Square, so not exactly in Chelsea, but the main hub for the Chelsea Film Festival is Regal Cinemas now. We were very close by before, we're AMC, but now we've moved to Regal Cinemas, where we use the facilities for all the screenings during the 5-day event. So it's going to be a very busy week of welcoming people from not only local communities, but also from outside the state of New York. A lot of people are coming from Los Angeles, like the main film hubs, from Atlanta, from Florida, but also outside the country. We have, I believe, like 15 countries represented this year at the festival. And regarding the topics, it is a film festival that talks about global issues. So we have mainly films from independent filmmakers. Some are more emerging, some are more established. And this is really the goal of the film festival, to promote the work of independent filmmakers. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm all yours.
Thank you. Well, thanks for coming to our committee meeting. 13 years, that's.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Remember when it
Year
was,
one.
right?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll turn to questions.
Great, sounds amazing. Hopefully I can get there to see some of it. What are some of the issues that the film will be addressing? Just curious.
Yeah, well, I think the world has so many
That's why I'm asking it.
issues, and so it could be immigration. We have such a large topic of topics of issues, and the environment is a big one. That every year we receive films about. So we used to host actually a climate change day. So now we're not calling it that way, but we promote films about becoming a little bit more conscious about the environment. And another one is really big right now is the Israel-Gaza war. So we're gonna have some content about that as well, but not only. And yeah, so
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Well, it sounds like all of those topics mean a lot to everyone in New York City as well.
Yeah.
So, you also accept, local filmmakers too?
Yes, of course. And the majority of films that we showcase are films from New York.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the majority. And one thing I didn't mention is a program that we launched about 3 years ago called the Chelsea Film Festival Incubator Program. And it's an initiative solely for emerging BIPOC filmmakers. Yeah, and we help them from A to Z to create their films. It's a 9-month program. And we help them with mentorship, with top of line equipment. We have great partners that provide amazing equipment for them, and also cash grants, and a guaranteed slot at the Chelsea Film Festival at the end of the year. So we're gonna have 2 projects that are coming out this year, out of this incubator. So every year is about 3 to 5. This year we have 2. Yeah.
Okay, great. And is there information on your website on how people can apply for like future?
Yes, yes, on November 1st is when we reopen submissions. And actually a week from today, we're going to release the lineup.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's why it's a very busy week, and it's actually perfect to speak about it, because next Monday everything will be live on our website, yeah. The full lineup and, yeah.
Are people able to buy tickets?
Yes, exactly, yeah, on that day, yeah.
Do you, work with any schools or any other organizations to get tickets out? I'm just curious.
Well, that's a great question, because we've been working with different schools, like Pace University, New School, FIT. And this year, we haven't like solidified actually which school we wanna reach out to. Because we have this 2-day conference that I mentioned, which is called the Real Magic Hour, and it has about 10 different panels. And we would really love to reach out to these schools to invite them, because it's such a wealth of information for people who, even if they don't know that they would love to be in the film industry, they could learn about it and then maybe spark some, just inspiration for them. So I think it would be nice to connect with these schools, yeah. Yeah. But especially the local schools, I would say, that close by, yeah. To attend these 2 days. It's on the Friday, October 17th, and the Saturday, October 18th. Yeah. And it's gonna be in a big theater that holds about 200 seats, so we would invite them, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, we can, we should connect and see if we can share
Okay.
his contact information.
Thank you.
Connect with the universities.
Okay.
The location change from Union Square, was that just based on capacity and it was a better fit for sort of the
Yeah.
festival? I know we lost a theater on 23rd Street.
Yes,
But you were also using
We were used-
SBA for a while.
Yes, we were, and it's this capacity is too small.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay.
is too small. And then AMC here at the time, like when we moved, is because it was right during the pandemic, and then they closed down, and a Regal opened at the time. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's fine.
I'm glad you landed somewhere that worked.
Yeah, somewhere, because a lot of theaters are closing sadly, so. Yeah, I mean, this theater on 23rd Street was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, we used to do so many events there. We had a monthly series and.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we would love to find another place to foster this community. Every month, not just the annual events, but really having monthly or quarterly events, yeah.
So you don't have a set like headquarters, is that?
I mean, we've been at Regal for the past 4 years,
Okay.
so we're there,
Right.
yeah. But you never know, you
Yeah.
know, you never know, yeah, because theaters are closing and, it's just, you never know. This industry is changing so much. Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what are the major challenges that you have, but
yeah,
yeah, we even, live theater, we've lost a few in the district, so space continues to be the challenge to. For people
Yeah.
to work and.
Yeah.
Showcase their work, and not only that, but just to, put things together to actually produce something, so.
yeah,
It
yeah.
has to be an issue.
Well, I think the biggest challenge has become the sponsorships. Yeah, it's become really the sponsorship, especially this year. I'm not sure why, I can't really explain it. Because other events have been, I wouldn't say they've been thriving, but they've been at least able to secure sponsorships, and this year has been really difficult. So we've had a lot of barter agreements, but they don't really run the show. We're really grateful for them. We work with New York City Tourism, we work with different, with the Wall Street Journal, with Deadline. We have great names, but they don't give us cash, and so it's hard to then run the operation, having staff and, yeah. So luckily, we're able to manage the finances of our organization because of previous years. But we can't count on this every year,
Right, right.
so.
Have you had any conversations with the Department of Cultural Affairs? Is that anything there at all
Never.
now?
No, we never had a conversation with them. They support the festival and they're great. I mean, Eric Botcher has been also part of the support system. And it's funny, they reached out to me this morning to be part of a panel. They do grant applications, and sadly, just my hands are full with the festival. But yeah, so it could be maybe when
You have received funding from
yes,
UCLA and
Yes.
they're, okay, just one.
for,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so I would say in terms of that, yes, I was more referring, and I'm sorry, I wasn't specific, but more referring to like brands and,
Right.
corporate sponsors.
Yes.
But the city itself has been doing the best they could, I think, to support, yeah. Yeah.
Well, it'd be great to find a home for you back in Chelsea.
Yes.
Your namesake,
Yeah.
Yes, for our namesake,
Yeah.
absolutely, I agree.
so think about it. Budget priorities for this year, new movie
Yeah.
theaters, the
Yes.
district.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much
Everything that you've
for
been doing, so.
giving us a platform and your support, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I hope you all come next month, yeah,
Absolutely.
celebrate the fall with us. It might be summer still, who knows? It usually,
Yeah,
is very warm.
yeah.
Which
yeah.
we're worried
Stay
about
warm in the
because
city
sometimes
until like
yeah.
November, yeah.
Sometimes we're worried about, we prefer that it's cold because people don't go to the theaters that much.
Yeah.
It depends, it's a fine line.
Yeah.
But thank you all, and thank you for all raising watching.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Matt.
Okay, great. So I think that takes us to agenda item, and welcome to Committee members, thank you, nice to see you.
Sat on a non-moving train for 20 minutes.
Oh, sounds like.
No, that's.
So,
Or to just go around and say
Yeah.
hello and here's what everyone is, because we have new faces.
Yeah, absolutely. yeah, we started with a very small group and it's expanded over the last 30 minutes to a full room, so I think that's a great idea.
We also had people joined in July.
Yeah.
And
So we can kick it off.
we can tell.
So I'm Matt Green, co-chair, the ACES committee. Welcome to new members, welcome to our existing committee members. Nice to see you all.
And what are the committee do?
Oh, I'm also on our Parks and Water.
I'm Jesse Bodine. I am your co-chair and I also serve on Chelsea Land Use.
Charles Montoya Archer, I am new, 3 months now, since July, and I'm on this committee as well as HHHS as well.
Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm a new school student, Parsons new school student. One of my majors is journalism and design, so we're both here for like an assignment or class. You'll probably be seeing us pretty frequently though.
Yeah.
Annual, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause, like we were assigned to this district, but it's also just like getting us familiarized with like New York City issues because I'm not from here, guys. I'm from Chicago. So, my name is Joy, by the way. But yeah, it's like really interesting. If you guys want us to reach out or like try to write anything for anybody, we'll try.
Or but want any like connections to the school? Because it's right by you.
Yes,
yeah.
there you go.
That's a good idea. Yeah. But thank you for having us.
Here.
Hi, Wendy Gonzalez. I am also in the VLP committee. I'm the co-chair of that committee.
Max, I've been in there for like 5 years now. I love it. I'm on this committee. I'm also on the transportation committee.
Marie Ortiz, I'm on this committee as well as co-chair of Triple HS, which is Housing, Health and Human Services.
That's all I have to say.
It's always
It's not much shorter to see that. My name's Erin Hoffman. I'm also new as of this term, and I'm on this as well as Clinton Hell's Kitchen Land Use, which doesn't have a pronounceable acronym.
work on that
Yeah.
one.
Jeff Berner, also a new member. My 2 committees are ACES and WEP. I've been in Chelsea for 25 years. So look forward to working with everybody.
Awesome. And we're going back to. Yes.
I'm Isabella. I'm a master's journalism student at Columbia. My meeting for the next couple of weeks is this district and District 5 as well, our community board.
Oh, nice.
Hi, I'm Suna. I'm a first year journalism and design major at Green School as well. So this was a journalism assignment, but I'm super happy to be ready to connect a little bit and learn some more about Chelsea because I spent so much time in it, and it's important to kind of go over some of this issue. So.
Why don't we get like 5 different articles out of it? And then David Warren's joining us remotely.
Yes, hi, my name is David Warren. I'm also on transportation, and I'd like to welcome all the new board members and also the journalism students. And welcome back from summer. Happy fall.
I think we're doing just 30 minutes.
Yes.
Up to that, okay. So,
I just a
real
quick,
Yeah.
board next.
oh, yes, question.
Are we? I'm with this excellent.
So, so we're turning to, so everyone should have a copy of the agenda, as well as, and thank you, Jesse, for printing out copies of our budget requests from last year, which everyone should have. If you don't, maybe your neighbor does, you can share. But you should have a printout of both our expense budget request as well as our capital budget request. So before we sort of dig into this, just like a high level overview, since we do have some new members, it's always, I think, helpful to do a refresher for returning folks. So every year, the community board puts together a budget response based on the priorities that committee members discuss together. So these can be sometimes longstanding capital items, right? Like a school has been requesting air conditioning units for their school for X amount of years, and it's been a high priority, and so we continue to either make sure that that remains on our list to advocate for, or there could be new items that come in and a new issue, a new need that a school or a community organization has that we would add to our list. And then again, we would submit, there's a budget task force that would then take all of these ideas and prioritize them amongst the various committees, and then that gets submitted to the respective agencies. So for our committee, we work really closely with the Department of Education, the Department of Youth and Child Services, UICD. We also work with our public library, so we have 2 branches in our district. We have the recently opened, renovated, beautiful Muhlenberg Library. I haven't been yet, but they are doing I think they've had like a soft opening. I believe it's currently open. So we've got that library that's open, and then also our Columbus branch, which is in Hell's Kitchen on 10th Avenue. And so we also work with the New York Public Library System, and they do have, I mean, as we know, the Muhlenberg just went through a major capital renovation, and the Columbus branch for several years has had a damaged roof, and it's been leaking, and it's been an ongoing issue, but luckily, I believe that has been resolved in the last few years. Thanks to a lot of the work that this committee has done in terms of just pushing that forward, and getting that done. So that is on our list, but I think like, as we review this, there are some things that have been resolved, which is great, so we can remove those. But really the purpose of tonight's discussion is to review sort of our list, things that have been resolved, things that are ongoing. If there are new priorities that folks have had, I know that there's new members here, right? So, so a lot of the conversation about what might be new has come from committee meetings from the last year, which you haven't been a part of. That's okay. I think what's important is to kind of, we'll do some outreach as well to some of our local stakeholders, like our schools, to see if they still have any capital needs or expense items that they need support with. And then we'll update the list and we'll vote on that at our October meeting. So yeah, and then there's 2, right? So sorry, there's the capital and expense, and just very quickly, capitals, the brick and mortar, the renovation, the physical space. And then the expense items is funding to help programming, services, payroll, staff support, things of that nature. So I'll pause there, see if anyone has any questions. Hopefully you've had some time to look at the list. If not, please do, but I think we want to use this time to see if there are any questions about any of the items on our list from last year, and take any questions about sort of the process. And then of course, Jesse, please.
Yeah, so sort of for newer members, a couple things. One is, so we're always a year ahead, right? So we're talking about FY27, you know, FY26 literally just got done. So we're gonna get the responses to our budget requests early next year when the preliminary budget comes out. So what you have here is our request, the reason for our request, the initial agency response, which is usually the more fruitful response. And then there's the OMB response, which is the Office of Management and Budget, which is the final response, which they basically just say, we agree with the agency, we're not gonna fund what you want. You'll nine times out of 10. And so I want us to understand that, and you have to understand also that those responses are a lot of the agency responses are dropped down. So you're gonna get frustrated reading many times the same response, or seemingly like, or a very broad thing, we'll cover this in the existing budget. You know, and that may be true, that may not, we don't really always know. Because we're talking about very specific granular things that happen in the district, and they're talking about sometimes citywide budgets, sometimes borough-wide budgets, things like that. And so the other couple things I just want us to keep in mind is that this document, while it's a 2-parter, right? It's a need and the request. And so there's the document that's not in front of you right now, there's the statement of district needs. In that document is a whole section on youth education, so, you know, youth services, arts and cultures. So I would take a second to read that out. It's in your Dropbox, it's on our website. Just so you get an understanding what we're saying to the needs, and why they're connected to the requests that they're listed. And obviously, I think this committee for next month should also, you know, if there are things you guys want to change in the state and district needs in terms of the narrative. That's always helpful to know from a budget task force, because you assign people who will probably maybe might be assigned to this section. Someone else from the budget task force might be assigned to that section. And then finally, just that this is the whole document as a whole is many things. It's both very kind of like, these are the needs, here are the requests, but it's also a realistic. So I do think we'll see things in there that you know, are being said, they're being funded for many years. We still think they're right. We still think what can be done. Right, we know that they're funded. We're not gonna take it off our list, you know, and so, you know, examples are just, I would say, the Golden Branch and the Columbus Branch, you know, there are reasons and excuses to take it off the list the last 10 years. You chose not to be advocating, we kept pushing, and I think that helped push the project. I would say that, so it's not always cut and dry to say, okay, I guess it's funded, so we can say goodbye. Yeah, that we can choose not to say, you know what, this is still a really important thing to this committee, whether it's they say it's funded or not.
And then one of the things we're going to try to do is, you'll notice that, as Jesse said, some of these are just like drop-down responses that are sort of just boilerplate. We're hoping to have, you know, hopefully the Department of Education to come in and provide some context as to exactly like, yes, they support it, but they can't for X, Y, just to put a little more detail, because there's not a tremendous amount of detail on these spreadsheets, as you'll see. So, and by having the agencies come in and sort of walk us through exactly why they can or why they can't do some of these funding requests is really important. Actually, the Department of Education came to one of our committee meetings in the last year, I think for the first time, to kind of have that type of conversation, and it was really great. So we're hoping to just continue that type of engagement with the agency, so we can kind of really drill down a little bit more into the details.
So also, you know, we do outreach to schools. I mean, Jesse just kind of does like a blanket outreach. We have very good communication with our elementary and middle schools mostly, but we would love to have more communication with our high schools. So if anybody is, you know, an alum or just knows someone to get into our high schools, that would be very helpful, because things actually do get funded, and we have about 20 high schools in our district that could certainly use funding on different items, but it's not always easy to get in touch with people there. So if anyone knows anything, any contacts, that would be helpful.
Yeah, and I'll just add too, I mean, what we found to be the most productive is I'll do it. Individual outreaches to all the schools that are listed in these requests to see what the status is, because the principals are usually the ones that have the most up-to-date information about each of these projects. Clarify whether they still think it's a priority that they want us to advocate for, whether they want us to shift that priority to something else, or whether they think it's done and they're happy to move on. But we also, I think, which is also a very productive thing, which I think Josephine started a while ago, and was to meet with the superintendent offline and kind of get a broader sense of what overall, like what the top 3 or 4 capital and expense things that he's hearing. And so that gives us a nice baseline between the individual principals projects and then the overall, you know, district-wide need. So I think we do that as well. So we'll be setting that up at some point, I think, maybe now after.
And I'm sorry, and then we can open it up to questions. And I just want to, while our budget requests are heavily focused on our schools, we should also keep in mind our organizations. We've had a number of nonprofit organizations. I mean, Chelsea Film Festival is here this evening, but other organizations that have come in. And so those requests would go to DCLA. So that's the other city agency that we do work with. And so we should just keep in mind any requests and needs that those organizations have brought to our attention as well.
Right, so they usually have to present here in order to make it on the list. So if you know someone and they would like to come next month and give a presentation, then that would be helpful too. But we will be voting next month on this, so you don't have a whole lot of time.
Questions, concerns?
This might just be process, but the district needs, are they already set annually or are they set every few years?
No, every year every board is required to draft the statement of district needs. So it happens in, October and November. So we have ours up on, if you go to our budget page on our website, you'll see them going back about 20 years or so.
Yeah, every community board has them.
Yeah.
It's interesting to look at other community boards and like almost every one of them, well, I'm gonna put a plug here for housing. Almost every one of them has affordable housing as one of their top three leads. That's most urgent.
The process has changed immensely, and when I started, it was still very much every community board it was up to how they wanted to create. They could send in a letter, one page letter saying this is what our statement was looking is. What ended up happening, like everything else, what ended up happening is, ours was like 30 or 40 pages, of course. It's still 30 or 40 pages. And then then the city's ability and attempt to streamline everything, they created this platform in which we basically submit the information to the platform. Now you look at the statement of district needs of all the community boards, they all look very, in terms of format and style, they look all very similar. It's all kind of very good package. It's a nice package, I'll say. They wish we give a lot of data about the district that we might not already kind of naturally have at our fingertips, but it's a good package, I would say. But it kind of creates uniformity. It's like it all looks the same. And therefore, I think the needs of like affordable housing kind of rises to the top, right? Everybody. Yeah, so I do think the idea of like if there are things that there are programs, organizations district-wide that we think that we want to get maybe an update on, or want to create a new request for, then you push things right. We don't like to say, it's not gonna be just entered into the state district needs before it comes before this committee. You guys have a conversation about it. So if there's something like that, we should think about it.
Well, the process worked really well last year with that combo, I think, of superintendent and then SU or our two principals, because in the olden days, we used to divvy up the principals and we just didn't get responsive. So love that we're gonna continue that. And then I know that it's always a question, obviously, most of our needs wind up being education related, but I think the plug would be in general, if folks have like arts organizations that they know could use more funding or other similar organizations, whether they've been in front of us or not, but they have a need, we should share that because that's always kind of clamoring for those. For the arts part of the committee.
Any questions?
So I think between now and next month, we should all spend some time thinking about sort of the priority in which we want to submit our budget request. We could use this sort of as a template as to sort of the work that's been done, the priorities of the committee from last year. But we'll also go through and update this, given that some of these things have received funding, like the public library, for instance. And we can take a look at some of our previous committee meetings as maybe a refresher on some of the things that we have written letters about. And sort of what issues we've been asking for additional support for the city on. So we can share that information, especially for new members, to kind of get up to speed as to exactly, some of the letters that have been written.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you know what I'll do, I'll pull those letters, so you don't have to do this, you don't have to go back and search them, so. Any budget related letters, I can pull, so last later, so you guys can look at it.
Yeah, first, like the education and the top three running three that have been going for a while it's pre-K and pre-K. Also, after school, supposedly we were getting free after school citywide, but turns out it's not really citywide. They're going, it's not gonna be just to co-op at some point, but we do have some Title I schools here that could really use the free after school program. And we have a lot of students in temporary housing who could really use these spots. So that's something that we're gonna continue to advocate for. But also with the new cell phone policy ban, it's not just the cell phones, it's all personal internet devices. So kids can no longer have laptops in schools or iPads, and that becomes a very big issue, especially in our high schools, because the software and the hardware is always outdated, broken, and so the kids spend a lot of time doing work on the computer. I mean, my daughter did, as a sophomore, and was doing PowerPoints and interactive PowerPoints, and no one's going back to, you know, the cardboard and the highlighters. So we really need to figure out how we're going to meet that need and make sure that every child has access to, you know, a working computer and the latest software. The city or the state has already said that they are going to provide funds for the storing of, well, the cell phones. It can't, it's not supposed to bring your computer or your laptops to school at all. But the cell phones, actually, they're going to provide funding for storing them, but they have not said anything about increased funding to actually provide every school with the technology the kids need to continue to just move forward in this day and age. So that's something we can also think about.
Have we ever like made a list of all the DOE properties and sites that we have in our district? And kind of list out the priorities for each one before?
DOE property?
Yeah, like the schools and everything?
Yeah, we actually have an interactive map that's probably a little outdated, but we
Yeah.
actually have a Google map of all the schools. But in terms of the need, I will say, you know, one of the things you will see as we have this conversation with principals is that many schools are bundled right now, right? There are these very large complexes in our building, in our district, that house like 4 or 5 schools. And so it's always a little bit of a difference between each complex manages it differently. Sometimes they kind of have a lead person that we can go to and they'll say, yeah, we all need a new HVAC system. That's what our priority is, right? Individually, the schools might have their own little thing. And I don't mean to say little because it's not important, but it just meaning like what's specific to that school. But they'll say an overall thing is, you know, the ADA access to the gym, you know, let's say. And that's what they're willing to like put as their major. Other places will say, no, I want, you know, we specifically need a library, you know, funds to finish our library because it's like half funded or things like that. So it's hard to get like something for each school because sometimes they're not gonna talk to us like that. They're gonna talk to us from like a very like building wide, you know, oh, we need a new PA system. So I don't always get that information when we talk to, like, when I reach out to each of the principals, you know.
Well, I guess that's their fault if they don't want to talk to us, but.
Well, yeah, they're just busy.
Right, it's
Yeah,
not
if
going
if
anywhere.
they want help advocating for something, I'm sure they will talk to us.
Yeah,
So
I know, I mean,
if we do have like an Excel list or something that might help future years, it's gonna be really nice. Kind of list out all the high schools, all the middle schools, all the.
We do have a list. We do have a list of all the public schools in the district that we use with contact information. And what we've tried to do is really streamline the communication because it's not like they don't necessarily want to talk, but they get this request from the borough president, the city council member, they get it from CEC, they get it, and then they get it from the community board. And it's like, didn't I just already answer this for you? And there was a lot of confusion. And so I think we've been really trying to be more strategic with that outreach. So it's not a big burden on the schools and they can clearly understand what they're responding to.
it also doesn't happen, our schedule is completely
Right.
off with the rest of their schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Us asking what they need in October is bizarre to them, right? Cause like the budget is.
Only related to that.
Right. And then the other part is that we're the only entity asking the question that has no money. We're asking them, we're like, what do you need? And we're like, we can't promise anything, just tell us what you need. So it's, it's.
But hopefully the document is used, right, by the elected officials that do have those resources to inform them when it comes budget time in the new year, when they're making their sense of decisions. So, yeah.
And I think it is helpful for the city to see that we're all making the same request for this one school, right? If it's city council or if it's us or the borough president's office, so that is helpful.
Yeah, it reinforces
Right.
the need. Yeah.
Well, like just tracking perspective, it might be nice to have that, just year after year after year, thinking of what we asked for the last previous year.
Yes, we have that,
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's not like working off something like this, and this kind of meeting, maybe we can pull off the sell this. I don't know, it just like nice to have like the whole inventory on there and take a look at.
Well, we have one of these every.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can certainly put in the folder.
Yeah.
What we asked
So,
for, I
yeah.
mean, this is the last year, but I can put in 25, 23, you know, gonna go all the way back.
Awesome.
You know, that's helpful, it's not all combined with one track device. If we find an intern to do that.
That's really what I'm talking about, because I don't have kids in the school system, so I'm very unfamiliar with schools. So it'd be nice to take a quick picture of everything that's going on in the district and seeing on one sheet of paper, like what is happening with these schools, just to wrap our heads around it, not even like budget stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technology is always very big.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good
Yeah.
start. If you go
Yeah.
to this, you'll definitely see a lot that's here.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, these capital projects are multi-year, they take a long time to get fully funded, so they're gonna be very similar to the last few fiscal years. Yeah. But good questions, anything,
What is the process for the schools or other organizations to get projects on our radar? Come to us,
Yes.
just what you hear, okay?
yeah,
So,
and then this coming year, right, like, they should be coming in, and we should invite them to come and present on sort of their needs and, to inform the next year process.
And I know we might not be able to do it now, but should we send invitations for the high schools that you're thinking we have not reached yet?
We could, I mean, we certainly will do another blanket email to the high schools. We do it every year,
Okay.
so, we will do that. And it's just, I think it would really help if we start making connections with principals, because as I say, city council goes and they do their own, and so sometimes they think that, oh, well, we'll just talk to them. But it's helpful if they also talk to us, because then we can all advocate at the same time. We have one school that was looking to replace their elevator, and it was $1 million price tag. But we were enormously helpful, wrote a lot of letters, got the comptroller's office involved, and they did get an elevator, so it does work, but they really need to come to us, and that school was, they were just great. I mean, they showed up consistent on a consistent basis, so we were able to help them. But, yeah, we will do that, but.
I went to high school on 49th Street, so right there between 9th and 10th, so if you don't have connection there, I
Yeah,
can. easily
absolutely,
call.
okay, when I said alumni, I was thinking about you. It's like, okay. Yes, okay, moving on.
So our fifth agenda topic is really, I think, just to kind of get a sense if there are particular interests of committee members looking to the year ahead about things that you all might be interested in really diving into, whether it's, education policy, funding issues, or arts programming. We just kind of wanted to open the floor to see if there are things that, things that we should really be focusing on as a committee as we start to plan our agendas over the next few months. So.
Yes,
I'll start.
Yeah.
Something that was raised in our last meeting was this kind of really awful intersection between the NYCHA work being proposed and PS 33. And I just think we really have to keep on the accelerator on that particular issue.
absolutely.
Because there truly are most vulnerable residents within the community for a variety of reasons. And I don't know if we've heard back from that letter that you ingeniously submitted for new business in that board meeting, but I think that's gotta stay top of the list personally.
Just so you know, we have had a conversation with them, the principal, Essence was there, someone from Lloyd, I think, was there. So we did press them on those questions. Still working on them, and so to be continued, yeah, well, we will, that's actively going on.
It's just I think you picked up two of them, I think that were really important. I would love to learn, I don't know who does it, but the computer issue, I think it's an important one primarily for people who work in schools. That could lead to behaviors which lead to other things in schools, so that could be one topic. The after school probably goes along with that, but personally, I've been interested in just mental health of kids.
Absolutely.
Especially with the state of every city in the country, so that would be something I'd be interested in.
And with respect to the computers,
Yes.
right? So what we're doing at my kid's school, is we're taking a kind of very proactive, response to the law, and we're saying they can do it. You need to bring a laptop, you need to bring a Chromebook, you need to bring a personal electronic device so that you can do your work. And we've crafted a policy under the assumption that kids will not be denied access, so we're just doing it. And I think it's kind of being left up to each individual school. I haven't heard yet from other SLTs about, them just saying, no, we're not gonna allow laptops. But I think it'd probably be more easy from a policy perspective to have firewalls in place, which they already do, that limits access to questionable material when they're in school. But if I hear anything from any other SLTs, I'll definitely update everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Because they have to have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what the DOE says on their website, but I cannot imagine that schools, especially the high school level, are not going to allow students. It's impossible, like, we just can't go back.
Yeah, the Department of Education, so we were hoping to have them come to this meeting this evening to talk more specifically about the new policy. They couldn't make it. I think they will be attending a meeting, maybe the Research Cabinet meeting next month, but they did share in the interim, sort of like their posted guidelines on their website, which we're happy to circulate. There's not much but they do have a guideline. I read it briefly that says schools can sort of create their own policy as it relates to like bringing in their own electronics for school use. But yeah, I think it's an interesting question. It would be good to kind of, really understand sort of what's allowable.
Those devices are also critical for certain students with 504s in place as well. So I don't think they're ever gonna prohibit them completely.
No, I'm talking about, I don't know if you guys want to say 504.
Oh, so 504 is an education accommodation policy that individual schools can provide to a family that applies for learning disabilities, that physical disabilities, a variety of issues. So it is an actual medical form that's provided to a school that helps you, I think it's called technology enabling devices, I think is what they refer to as, so apologies.
No, but, so.
I'd be curious to have avenues come back. And because I know, I think it was before I was on the board, there was a commitment made.
Scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't actually, I mean, they've been there.
I don't remember the last time I've seen them, Jesse.
Yeah. We're certainly gonna make sure that they've come back every year with we can certainly follow up, but they have.
Yeah, maybe I was out.
Personally, I think what Botcher has been doing, our council member, over the past year with the murals that he's been advocating for, has been really something special and really something really cool. He's been advocating mostly on private buildings, but I think we can help advocate for murals on public buildings across the district. And I think we really should talk to our city and state partners that have these big public buildings with pretty blank walls in them. And, DSNY has that great New York Strongest mural on their garage at 56th Street? And it's starting to fade now, but it's an awesome mural, and there's so many other public buildings in this district that can do something like that.
I thought this on 20.
Yeah, the bus garage, you see bus garage.
I was thinking about that.
But I think this is something you can really have an effect on. And, we can't advocate for murals on private property, obviously, but we definitely can on public property.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that.
Yeah.
You guys are all three all do this survey.
Exactly, break it up.
At our last meeting, we had the presentation from the community art group, and
Yeah,
I
you're
was
wrong.
thinking about that same thing. What?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Right.
The people,
But I mean, it would even be neat to try to pair it with where restaurants are, and just kind of create almost like a mural tour path through that could go to different, bring in economic stuff too, but kind of create a vibe that goes to our district.
Kinda cool.
We can paint vibrant shop windows on all the events.
Yes.
Whatever it takes.
So, yeah, we can put that back, and I know DOT launched sort of like their public art program, and they came, and they have like a master list of public, like city owns property, and they sort of best direct people who are interested in doing murals as to like where they could actually put some public artwork. And so maybe inviting them, but also some other city agencies to kind of figure out how do we make sure that they are connected with artists and organizations that are actually doing the work. No, I think that's great. Yeah.
I think it'd be neat too if there was a way to like put QR codes at each of them that would tell you about like, who made it. And,
I think there
you know,
is one
like,
at the Hell's
is there-
Kitchen, at the
and then
new
what?
mural in the Hell's
Okay.
Kitchen Park. I think.
Oh, the
they
new
put-
one, right,
I
yeah.
think they did
there.
put a QR code in there and
Right.
it talks about the special paint that they use, that's sort of
Mhm.
takes the paint that
Pardon.
Max is gonna get on all the bike lanes back with, paint that, same paint. But yeah, I think, that's great. Yeah, the QR codes. Any other ideas, things people like to?
I think it'd be nice to have an update on just the status of kind of, the, immigrant children in the schools and the shelters and just the moving back and forth. And then I think related to that, if there, what the current policies are regarding ICE and if there's anything there where we can be helpful or advocate.
Thank you for that, definitely, and even with regard to the cell phone policy, would that be an exception? Because they do have medical accommodations and maybe there should be an accommodation for that as well, because it's a big fear of parents not sending their kids to schools, that somehow they're going to get separated.
Right.
And they won't be able to reach one another, so, right. So we will try to have them back on.
So, so NYCHA PS 33, sort of the tech policy, mental health, we've discussed, avenues coming back, talking about scholarships, murals, getting more public art, immigration issues as it relates to shelters and the children that are, in our schools and an update on that.
Can I just ask for an elaboration, the mental health piece, maybe I've zoned out for a minute. But I'm wondering a little bit more about it, because I'm wondering if it's fit for housing, health and human services, or if it's more appropriate for ACEs. Depends on the angle.
I think it's both personally, but I think from this committee perspective, it's schools. It's kids in schools, and I have across the country, there have been some states who've been starting to have mental health services in schools because of those reasons. So for me, it's around the school and education.
Yeah, we've had a conversation
Like-
about getting social workers in
Like-
schools.
like that's
staff.
Yeah, all of them, like staffing, how are you going to be addressing children's mental health? How are you helping them understand well-being, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, and if there's any, what is the word I'm looking for? Like mental health campaigns that the schools
All
are
those
having.
things, yeah.
Right, because right now it's pretty sporadic and
Yes, it is.
very individual, depends on what school you go to. And we then partner with the mental health organization, some may get a bridging the gap social worker, but
Yeah.
there's no sort of standard loss.
And the issue of ICE, what does that do to children
Oh,
on a daily
goodness.
basis, which
Right.
also, they have to come to school and learn, so.
Right.
I wanna throw in there that I brought this up a few months ago and I stepped away from it, but I did do a tour with the Manhattan Neighborhood Network. If anybody knows, it's the cable access for Manhattan. And they have a brand new facility, which is in our district, and it's amazing.
Where is it?
It's on 38th Street. Yeah, you could walk by it 6 times. Wow. It's not ground level. And they wanted me involved, they wanted us involved with us, and them involved with us, they can host us for a meeting, anything like that, but the technology they have gotten. I don't know if anybody remembers, but it was New York City forever, and there's cable access back in the day. It is not your grandfather's cable access, it's really like amazing what they can do with CGI now, and they have blown out, these studios are blown out. So I thought that would be something we could try to get on our radar. Either we have a meeting there or at least do a tour or something.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's a pretty amazing place. And again, anybody can have, they do podcasts there too, so like anybody here can have a show, like, anybody can do a show, anybody can do a podcast, it's pretty impressive.
That's great.
Okay, we're in, whenever you wanna do.
There.
Yeah.
I need to get on it. That's what half of me talking about is reminding myself.
And have we heard anything from Vanderbilt University? I don't know if our new members know, you may know because you're PS 11, correct?
Yeah.
You're in Chelsea, yeah, so. Vanderbilt University has taken over the seminary space and they still haven't decided their programming, but I think you did a tour, right?
I did, yeah.
So could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so, early summer, did a walkthrough of the space. And yeah, they were still sort of, I think, getting sort of the programming together, but, I'm trying to think if there was anything specific that they were, I mean, I believe like students are coming onto campus, like they started coming in over the summer, and I believe enrollment is opening up like as of this fall. And yeah, I think they were really just trying to build relationships with just local stakeholders in the neighborhood. So it was just a way to kind of understand any changes that they're making to the seminary. I mean, it's a very old historic building and it needs a tremendous amount of work just to bring things.
I don't know if it's me or you, you're frozen.
That's one.
Good call.
This is a good list. Mr. Warren, do you have anything to add or? As we look
Well,
ahead?
somehow I got dropped, but the only thing I was going to add, I don't know if this might be the wrong place to put it, so let me know if it is. I suspect it is, but I've noticed a lot of people without homes by the Bella Abzug Park and in that area. I mean, literally setting up like tents and things. So I was wondering if we can get like some social services or something to help these people because,
Yeah.
I feel terrible for them.
Yeah, no, so they're aware of the encampments. I can tell you for sure, there's an immense amount of attention in the Midtown area and Bell Amazon Park, and Dolores Rubin can, she's the co-chair of the Midtown Community Improvement Coalition, something. And so, but David, if you want to send me any specifics, I can certainly.
I mean, you already know. I mean, I was just hoping it'd be social services rather than.
There are, I mean,
Okay.
We've got multiple layers of folks doing outreach that want very much to be able to say that they've cleared and kept clear Bell Amazon Park.
if you need volunteers, I mean, I have the time, let me, I'll try to assist from the community board.
I appreciate it, David.
No, thank you. But really, it's nothing, everyone's doing a great job. I mean, the co-chairs and chair.
Thank you. So this is excited to have new members on this committee, really looking forward to the year ahead. And sort of putting together an agenda for the next few meetings based on sort of the list that you all have here. But really, like between now and next month, it's really about looking at our budget requests, sort of refining that, and then next month in October, we'll deliberate and have a discussion on, what our priorities are as a committee. So yeah, I think that takes us to the end of our meeting.
I just want to say, if you have any questions that you feel like may want to speak offline, feel free to reach out to any of us, either one of us, we're more than happy to have a conversation with you, deeper conversation, so I think sometimes that's helpful. We have board buddies now, we do.
That's right.
Board buddies.
Buddies, but, we do know a lot about schools and what's happening in the arts, so feel free to reach out.
Absolutely. Motion to adjourn. All right, second. Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.